All right, so welcome Satellite fans as we have some exciting playoff baseball here. The semifinal matchup between the South Central Satellites, who are currently 17-9, against the Lacrosse Tigers of 9-10. Lacrosse coming off a big win against Argos, 7-1. That's their second time beating Argos this year. The last time they faced them, they were come out on top 13-3. Carter Burkholder gets the start today for the Tigers. And for South Central, they're coming off a massive win. Massive is kind of an understatement there after they clobbered South Bend Career Academy 25-1. Tyler Carr was the winning pitcher through 2 innings. He did not give up a run. Also got a nice strikeout, and Derek Welsh came into relief for him. He tossed 4 Ks in the win. Luke Osborne also contributed with 2 RBIs, but today Jacob Omen gets the start in the big semifinal game. What do you expect from him early on, Todd? What do you think he's got to try to do here early on to get the win against a good Lacrosse Tigers team?
I think he's just got to really focus up today and just try to pound the strike zone, as much as they can. I mean, if they're putting the ball in play, that's all right. But, I mean, you just really need to throw strikes, put the ball in play and hope that his infielders are going to make plays for him today.
Yeah, so today will be his 9th appearance for the Satellites. He's undefeated in his wins and losses, 2-0, has a 5.54 ERA, and through 24 innings pitched, he's got 27 Ks alongside 31 walks. So we'll see how he attacks early on against these Lacrosse hitters. But your starting lineup today for your Satellites going to be the leadoff man, Zach Honchar, playing third base. Gavin Gross gets the start at shortstop, usually plays second base, but he'll get the start at short. Bradley Farrell, the DH, batting third. Bryson Glycic, the first baseman, will be batting fourth. Tommy Sullivan going to be playing second base today. Keep an eye on that. He'll be batting fifth. Jackson Boss playing catcher. Jacob Omen, the pitcher, will be batting seventh. Matt Knight, the left fielder, will be batting eighth. And Brandon Young, the center fielder, will be batting ninth. Alex Newburn will be the utility player today in right field. So there's the starting lineup for your South Central Satellites. But what do you think are some advice here you'd give the Satellite hitters offensively, Todd, going up against a pretty good pitcher in Carter Burkholder for the Tigers?
Carter's definitely going to attack him with the fastball today. I can definitely say that. I've learned a couple of things about playing against Carter and playing with Carter. But I mean, they definitely got to sit back today. Let him come to them. Don't swing at anything you don't need to, and just be patient and be ready to hit the ball when it comes to him.
What would you say Carter's best pitch is, Todd? Do you think he's got a couple pitches he goes to, or does he have one that's kind of his signature pitch?
I'd say probably he definitely likes his fastball. He likes to, he can locate it. And if he does get in a groove, that's when they need to start worrying about it. They got to start throwing off his timing and stuff like that. Because once Carter gets in a groove, he's just going to keep pounding it until there's no more.
So this is going to be the third matchup today between the Tigers and the Satellites. The Tigers are currently 0-2 versus the Satellites this season, losing the first matchup 7-2 and the second matchup 10-4. So Satellites have a little bit of some bragging rights here early on against the Tigers, but hey, it's a playoff baseball game. Anything can happen. Lacrosse is a very good hitting team, have a couple of good players. Jesse Rhoda, obviously, really sensational catcher for him. Ian Doms, the first baseman. Blaine Russ, the shortstop. So this team has plenty of firepower. They can score as many runs as their heart's desire. As first pitch is scheduled for 3 o'clock. Weather looks pretty nice there, but you got any predictions for today's game, Todd? You got any score predictions?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say SC's probably gonna come out. South Central's probably gonna come out with this probably 9-3.
9-3. I like that. I think it's going to be a high scoring game for South Central as well. Maybe not as high scoring as yesterday when they put up 25 runs, but I think I think they'll get 7 or 8. I'm going to go with 7, but I think Jacob Omen's going to surprise a lot of people on the mound today. I think he's going to come out and be clutch early on. I think he's only going to give up about 2 or 3 runs here. I think as long as he finds that strike zone like Todd talked about earlier, really is in command early on and is composed, I think it's going to pose a lot of trouble for these Tiger batters. So my prediction is going to be 7-3. I think South Central is going to come out on top and advance to the championship game between either Triton or Oregon Davis. We'll let everybody know the score of that game because that game was played about 3 hours earlier. So once we find that out, we'll let everybody know who won to see who the potential championship matchup's going to be. But now we shift our attention to maybe some key strategies here for the Satellites. Do you have any key things you think the Satellites have to get done here, Todd, either offensively or defensively to win this big semifinal game?
Absolutely. Going back to when I did the last game when they played against Griffith, I think that the biggest thing that they need to focus on is they need that bottom of the lineup to start hitting more. The top of the lineup, they're getting on base and everything, they just need that bottom of the lineup to really step up. And I feel like they are going to step up, being a sectional game and coming off how they played yesterday, playing against South Bend Career Academy. I definitely feel like if the bottom of the lineup jumps on it early, then absolutely they're going to come on. They're going to come on strong this game.
Yeah, so that bottom of the lineup today for the Satellites, Jackson Boss will be batting 6th. Jacob Omen in that 7th spot. Matt Knight, we've seen him get a lot of clutch hits this season. Hasn't had many plate appearances, but when he comes up to the plate, he makes them count. He'll be batting 8th, and obviously Brandon Young, the speedster. Carter Burkholder definitely does not want to let him on base because he's going to be swiping a couple bags.
Oh yeah,
I agree though, Todd. I think bottom of the lineup has to figure out a way to get on base and try and get runners in scoring position for their top of the lineup because guys like Bradley Farrell and Bryson Glycic have a handful of RBIs. I believe Bradley Farrell leads the team in RBIs, but Bryson Glycic is nipping at his heels. They're very close, but a lot of guys at that top of the lineup, very good with runners in scoring position. Any spotlight guys today, Todd? Any you got any MVP or players of the game you're looking out for today?
I'm probably thinking Jacob. I feel like if he really locks in today and starts on the mound very well, then he's definitely going to be looking real good today.
Yeah, I agree. I think early on his relationship too with Boss, the catcher, trying to, manage through and maneuver through this difficult Tigers lineup. But I agree. I think Omen's going to have a big game today after kind of a shaky start his last appearance. So look for him to come out strong here early on. But offensively, it's hard to pick between these batters of the Satellites. They're all kind of have their own strengths. And, you could easily say Bradley Farrell, who's going to be doing the DH today, Bryson Glycic. But I think Jackson Boss is going to have some big hits today. I think he's going to have a couple big RBIs, one of my favorite hitters personally to watch on the Satellites. So offensively, I think he's going to be a guy to watch out for. But, every time we watch Satellite baseball, you got to be aware of the aggressiveness on the base pass. Let's see what Zach Coulter is going to draw up today. Obviously, the Satellites have a handful of guys who can steal bags, starting with their leadoff man, Zach, who's going to be playing third base today. Brandon Young, obviously, we talked about him early on, leads the team with 20 stolen bases, and Bradley Farrell. But those are some keys of the game here as first pitch is scheduled for about 15 more minutes. But we will wait to see as Jacob Omen's going to start the top of the first inning. Sounds like the Tigers are still doing their infield drills, but Oregon Davis and Triton had their semifinal game earlier today at 12 p.m. Maybe Josh can tune in later and let us know that score of the game if he finds it out. But
one thing I will say is Oregon Davis definitely didn't lose a lot of kids last year.
Yeah, I was looking at their schedule. I mean, even though they were kind of rocky in between, had a almost 500 average, they have a lot of good experience on that team, a lot of older guys. So that's going to definitely play in their favor. As I believe they have beaten Triton already this year, so they
Yeah,
have that going for them as well. So that always helps. But it's a great thing about baseball. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes the best team doesn't always win. It's just who played better that day. So we'll get you
absolutely.
that. We'll get you that score when it comes around. But we will about 14 minutes here.
We played
Just
Oregon Davis in the championship last year too.
remember what the score of that game was? Was it a close competitive game? Do you guys remember?
It was actually we got no hit and we scored 1-0.
Oh,
We won 1-0.
oh wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. No hit. You
And then they
not.
had one hit. So I mean it was definitely an interesting game. We scored actually off a hit by a pitch, and that kid ended up stealing all the way around.
Wow, that's
Yep.
pretty. You remember? You remember who it was? Was it Brandon Young that was running those bases? You remember who it was that
It
scored the
was
winning run?
yeah, it was either Brandon or I want to say Bradley. It was either Brandon or Brad.
Okay,
I
kind of
just I got
very.
hit like 3 times that game because who was it? It was I think it was Danford was pitching that game, and he was locked in until like halfway through the game. He just like hit a couple of people, and then someone scored, and then we're all fired up, you know.
Wow, that's exciting. Hopefully. I mean, hey, I always like a good pitching duel, so maybe we'll get that today. But our predictions say otherwise. I think South Central is gonna be swinging the bats early on here, try and be aggressive on the base pass. But we just got the Lacrosse Tigers starting lineup, so we'll go ahead and read you that really fast. Looks like the left fielder today, Brendan Tarter, is going to be leading them off. The center fielder, Noah Kneifel, will be batting second. Blaine Rust, the third baseman, will be batting third. Caden Hemiger, the shortstop, he'll be batting fourth. Carter Burkholder, the pitcher's in that fifth spot. The catcher, Jesse Rhoda, will be batting sixth. Ian Doms, the nice clutch lefty first baseman for the Tigers. He'll be batting seventh, wearing number 13. Cade Kozelki, the right fielder, will be batting eighth, and Tanner Ringel, the second baseman, rounds him out in that ninth spot. So if you were Jacob Omen today, Todd, who would you be kind of concerned about with this Tigers lineup? Any name that sticks out to you?
Definitely. So probably their leadoff hitter, Brendan Tarter. That kid's got a quick bat. I mean, he may not put it over the fence, but that kid's definitely got a quick bat, and he's going to be looking to put it in play. Also, Carter Burkholder. He's just an athlete. He's always just trying to play. He's just trying to play harder each and every single game. So definitely looking for something from him too as well.
Yeah, and he'll be getting the start at pitcher as well. I would read you his stats, but the Tigers have not updated it. So he's apparently only made, this will be his second appearance this year, but that's not correct. Does have a 2.62 ERA in that his first appearance was able to get the win. So that first appearance, he went 2 2/3 innings pitched, only gave up one run, walked 3, struck out 4. So that was what his first appearance looked like. Not sure what the rest of his starts look like, but he'll be getting the bump against Jacob Omen today. So Todd and I predicted not a massive scoring game, but a good amount of runs to be scored. Hopefully it's more competitive than the game the other day, as South Central made a hefty lineup switch after the first inning. The Trailblazers were unable to get an out through the first 9 batters, so Zach Coulter had seen enough. He decided to make a platoon switch there and basically subbed out his whole starting lineup. But the young guys came in and they did their part. Nice pitching by Derek Welsh and Tyler Carr. But we will about 10 minutes away here from first pitch. This is going to be an audio broadcast. Our play-by-play guy at the park is going to be Josh Regan, also going to be doing the producing and graphics. So we got our Swiss Army knife there and Josh Regan. So let's see if there's some scores around MLB here. Know that some games may be starting earlier today. Oh, yep, we do have a couple games. The Royals and Twins, they're in the top of the 6. Royals are up 5-1. Twins are having a really good season this year. Buxton's playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
Brewers and Cardinals. Cardinals are currently up 8-0. That's in the top of the 5th. The Nationals look like they were able to beat the Rockies today, 13-7. Scoring a lot of runs there. And the Red Sox, looks like they had a doubleheader against the Orioles, so they win the first game of that matchup 5-3. So we have the Yankees and Rays, that game scheduled for 4:10. Giants and Reds also going to be playing later today. Phillies Mets, that's a great matchup. That game's on tonight. That'll be on Fox. So after this game, you should go tune in that one. That's going to be a great game. And obviously the Blue Jays and Angels. Looks like they got Kikuchi starting for the Blue Jays. So those are some MLB games around the schedule here. But
Alek Manoah for the Blue Jays is looking pretty strong this year.
Yeah, Manoah. I saw him pitch the other night against a really, really good Angels batting team or hitting team. I saw that Shohei wasn't playing, but they still have Trout, Walsh, Rendon, Marsh. I mean, that's a tough lineup to figure out. And I love his attitude too. Doesn't like to come out of ball games. Always wants to stay in, give his team a chance to win. I love watching his competitive nature right there. So he's one of the ERA leaders too, I believe. I know Verlander's up there. I believe Cortez is up there from the Yankees as well. So Manoah's having a great season.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite team, Todd? Are you kind of a hometown guy or?
Love the White Sox. Come on now.
All right, White Sox. Yeah, White Sox got a lot of great players too. A couple, I believe Lance Lynn's still on the IL, right?
Yeah.
On that 60-day IL, so missing a couple pitchers, but that team's very dangerous too. I love Anderson and
yes.
You guys got Pollock too. That was a big trade. Jose Abreu too, so that's a very good team.
If they strengthen their bullpen, then they'll definitely be a good team for the postseason. 100%, I believe that.
Yeah, they added Graveman. Graveman's a great pitcher. They got him from the Stros. Obviously, they have Liam Hendricks, who was up for a Cy Young last year, which is incredible for a closer. I mean, he was almost unhittable last year. So, yeah, the White Sox are a very good team. There's a lot of surprising teams in baseball this year. We talked about the Twins having a great season. Yankees, one of the best teams in baseball. A lot of people didn't think they'd be that good, but they're the best team in baseball.
I did not expect that.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their lineup, they've been hitting really well, but I mean, the pitching has been the strength of that team. Their starting 5 have really been sensational, and surprisingly, Garrett Cole, who's supposed to be their ace, has the highest ERA out of all 5 of their starters. So I mean, they're getting.
I mean, the one guy that starts for him, Cortez, right?
Yep.
He's good. He's got one of the lower ERAs too.
Yeah, I believe he's ranked top 5 in the lowest ERA. So he's disgusting. But it looks like here, introducing the starting lineups for the Satellites, there's Brandon Young.
Farrell and Brian Glycic, the head coach of the Satellites. And now speaking members for the Lacrosse Tigers. Number 3, Chase Bluefield. Number 12, Kenny Burnett. Number 18, Colin Farrell. Number 23, Lucas Kaiser. Number number 27, Brandon Carter. Batting second, the center fielder, number 5, Noah Kneifel. Batting third, the shortstop, number 7, Blaine Russ. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 22, Peyton Hillinger. Batting fifth, the pitcher, number 17, Carter Burkholder. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 13, Ian Collins. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 19, Kate Selfie. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 6, Tanner Ringel. Assisted by Danny Snyder and JT Snyder. The head coach of the Tigers is Eric Snyder. It's time to play ball.
All right, so we're going to have some playoff baseball action here soon. Josh is going to be doing the play-by-play, so he'll be joining us pretty soon here.
Yes, but everybody, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Game's about to start up here with Hampshire leading off here for the Satellites. What are some keys for the Tigers, ladies and gentlemen?
They definitely gotta pitch well today. SC's, I mean, they're able to draw a lot of walks. If you look at all their stats, you got some of these guys nearing 20 walks on their stats. So I mean, they definitely got to come in and they got to throw strikes. They got to be looking aggressive, wanting their infield to make plays.
Yeah, I agree, Todd. I mean, South Central is kind of dominated. I wouldn't say dominated, but they've beat Lacrosse pretty easy. Not easily, but 10-4 and 7-2. So comfortable wins. I would say that's a good word, comfortable. So you got to think Lacrosse is going to come out swinging here with, only scoring 4 and 2 runs in those games. So look to see them come out, be aggressive against Jacob Omen. You got any prediction, though, Josh? Todd and I made our predictions. You got your prediction for the game? Can you still hear us, Josh? You still there?
Leading off the top of the first for the Satellites, the third baseman, number 12, Zach Hanchar.
Go, Zach. Hanchar leading off for the Satellites here. Burkholder as the starter here. Tigers and Satellites going with their number 3s here in the rotation. And that is a ball to start it off here.
You got a last-minute prediction for us, Josh? Todd and I made our prediction. You got your prediction for the game?
A 6-5 thrilling win for the South Central side.
So we're all on South Central train here.
And the ball just gets the corner there for Burkholder to get the first strike of the game going. The ball,
So
2 balls,
2 and
1
1
strike. And that will be a infield single.
Good start by Zach, an infield single to get the first batter on here for the Satellites is now Gavin Gross, the shortstop. You think Zach's going to be stealing here, Todd?
Up here.
Absolutely. Definitely after a infield single like that, you're definitely looking, to compound mistakes here. So you're probably going to steal him first pitch or second pitch.
Zach's leading the Satellites in homers with 2 this season.
something is going wrong a little bit for Burkholder here. Looks like he's kind of grabbing at his neck, but it looks like he's going to be okay here.
Grabbing at that neck. You hope it's not a pinched nerve or nothing pulled there. That would be a terrible way to start, but I'm sure he's a tough guy. Let's see if he can get through this. But
a pickoff attempt is an absolute no-go on that one. 0-0 here. Gavin Gross back in the batter's box after another pickoff attempt.
so it sounds like Burkholder is very aware of the man at first, knows the speed he possesses, doesn't want to take any chances here. Zach's
and that ball just gets over the plate there.
Zach has 19 stolen bases this season.
Burkholder looks at the runner, goes to the stretch, and there is another strike at the same spot.
So 2 strikes here on Gavin Gross. Let's see how he battles here with 2 strikes on him.
And he, a Texas looper here. Next up, Bradley Farrell.
So a bloop single there is. Was Zach able to advance to third, or did they hold him at second there, Josh?
They hold him at second there, ladies and gentlemen.
RBI threat, University of Kentucky commit Bradley Farrell, Blazing Bradley Farrell, going to be doing the DH today. Has a .469 batting average.
Just missed for ball 1 here to Bradley Farrell with runners on first and second here. Burkholder goes back into the stretch, looking down Farrell, and Farrell takes time.
Bradley's leads the team with
Boys,
4
it was like a
triples as
nice
well.
little Texas standoff there. And that ball is school bound on the fly ball.
So Bradley Farrell sounds like it's 1-1 is the count. See what his approach is here.
Burkholder looks off his catcher, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. And Aroda decides to take some time with the junior to ease him a little bit.
Let's see Bradley's approach here with the first runner in scoring position of the game for the Satellites. 1-1 here. Sounded like something big happened there, Josh.
A overthrow by Jesse Rhoda.
So it sounds like Satellites may have had a double steal on potentially. Looks like they possibly overthrew the. Sounds like it was Gavin Gross running to second there. So Zach, I'm assuming, scored. Is that right, Josh?
That is correct. A Mungo there, bud.
All right, so Gavin Gross is he on second, Josh, or was he able to advance to third on the overthrow?
Gavin Gross is currently on second. And Farrell beats out and gets an infield single here. And Grass moves to third with Big Country coming up and Bryson Glycic.
Bradley Farrell gets a single, so 1, 2, 3. Each of the first 3 batters here for the Satellites gets a single here. Is now the very dangerous first baseman. Also does some DH and Bryson Glycic. You call him Big Country, Josh? That's the nickname you've given him, Big Country?
Big Country, it's Big Country land here. With Glycic having 2 home runs going to state play, the senior knows 4D's a dodgeball. Dip, dodge, and dodge. Just getting out of the play there. 1 ball so far.
So Bryson Glycic does have a nice home run. Also has 28 ribbies, 30 hits. The thing that impresses me the most is his slugging percentage. Very good at getting extra base hits. .525 slugging, 944 OPS. So a very dangerous batter to face here for Burkholder. The Satellites have a man on first and third.
Going back to his pitcher here. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike here.
Two balls and 1 strike. Still nobody out here. This top of the first.
Three balls.
Three balls here to Bryson Glycic. Let's see if he'll take his walk. Also has a very high on-base percentage. One of the highest on the Satellites. 419 OBP.
Burkholder in the windup here. Runners in scoring position. And the ball is skied to Hemmicker. And the shortstop, Russ, gets it for the first out.
So a little infield fly there for Bryson Glycic, as that's going to be the first out of the inning. Tommy Sullivan, the second baseman.
Number 8, Tommy Sullivan.
Due up next here. Tommy also very high in on-base percentage. Also has a .900 OPS, 471 on-base percentage. Does have a home run this year and arguably one of the biggest games of the season for the Satellites. So,
and that is a into an air here that scores 2 runs.
So Satellites attacking early here, tied up 3-0. It sounded like you said, was that a suicide bunt there, Josh?
Suicide bunt that gets 2 runs home. It's 3-0 so far. And ball.
Was Tommy able to reach second there? Or did they have to hold him to first?
Yes, they did.
All right, so Tommy's still at first, but only 1 out here for the Tigers as they're already in a 3-0 hole here with Jackson Boss, the catcher, due up here. Led the Satellites in average early in the season. Still has a very high average, 349.
A pass ball there allows Sullivan to go to third on the play.
Tommy Sullivan's on third now. Only one out here, so maybe a little sack fly opportunity for Jackson Boss. Has a lot of options. Let's see what he goes to here.
And Jackson Boss walks here with Jacob Ullman coming up.
All right, so the Satellites already through their first 6 batters. I'd say this was a pretty ideal start for the Satellites, Todd. I think this is exactly what Zach Coulter wanted here.
Absolutely.
Now Jacob Ullman's going to be due up. Had the walk-off hit in the championship game against Boone Grove. He's going to be doing the pitching today.
From the sounds of it, it really sounds like Carter is really having trouble trying to find spots where hitters can't really get to it right now. It's either a ball, or right now either South Central's just putting the bat on it, and they're not making plays. So I mean, they're doing what they got to do to get runs across. So I mean, it's looking good for South Central right now.
Yeah, South Central with 2 or 3 early singles with their first 3 batters. Burkholder was able to retire Bryson Glycic with an infield fly, but sounds like the Tigers have made a couple overthrows and some errors there defensively to allow the Satellites to take advantage of that, and that's why they're up 3-0 here. But maybe that injury that Josh was talking about earlier, Burkholder with his neck, maybe it's affecting him a little bit too much here, but we'll see as this game goes on. But he was reaching after the first batter, so.
I was able to talk to some of the guys from Lacrosse, and one of the biggest key things that I did talk to them about was none of them are able to really step up and be a leader. Right now, it just seems like all of them, as soon as one person gets down, everyone else drops their head. So, I mean, in a spot like this, if they can find a leader right now, it's going to be a big moment for Lacrosse.
Yeah, let's see if someone from the Tigers steps up here. I mean, potentially could be the last game of their season, so hopefully their emotions and their will to win are high and that fire's there. Let's see if someone can step up here for the Tigers. But they got plenty of guys who, have that ability, and they got plenty of good players on that team. So let's see if one of those guys can step up here, maybe provide a little spark here for the Tigers. Is already down. Looks like 4-0 here, Josh.
Yes, 4-0 after the rust error. Hogan was a pinch runner and got in a stolen base. Well, that was a great kind of insight on the Tigers from Todd Snyder there. And runner on third here, Hogan. Rhoda has the duty to not let Hogan get into home plate here. Harder said and done after ball 1 in the dirt.
So is Jacob Ullman still up, Josh, or is Matt Knight now up?
Jacob Ullman's still up here.
Okay, so wow, he's only seen 1 pitch. So
actually, my bad. Matt Knight is up. That's my bad.
Was Jacob Ullman, do you remember what he had? Was it a single? Was it a pop out? Do you remember what he had?
It was an error from Rust that led into a run scored there.
So Jacob Ullman is off of first.
Yes.
Now the left fielder, Matt Knight, due up here. Matt Knight, a senior. This will be his 49th plate appearance this season. Has 8 hits, 7 RBIs. But my former co-anchor, Dusty, and I have seen him smack plenty of clutch hits. So he's a very reliable player.
run scores because Burkholder throws it over Rhoda's head. Here's going to be a pitching change, most likely, after the 5th run has scored in the 1st inning here.
So kind of a disastrous start here for the Tigers, Josh. Looks like they still only have 1 out here. The Satellites are about to go 1 through 9, so let's see who they're bringing in at pitcher. Probably either Heminger, maybe they have another guy in the bullpen that they like to go to. Ian Domes maybe as well.
Honestly, right now, I think our Lacrosse just needs to look for someone that's going to – I mean, right now, they just need strikes. Like, they just got to throw strikes, you know. I mean, I understand that the defense may not be making plays, but, I mean, right, as of now, that might be the only way that they're going to get out of this inning.
Yeah, very tough inning here early on. Couple of bloop signals for the Satellites, but, yeah, they've kind of been careless with the ball, and Burkholder is going to exit this ball game. But, yeah, you definitely do not want to be walking any more batters. Can't be adding on to this already explosive 1st inning here by the Satellites. Oh, there's Caden Heminger. So there's the new pitcher for the Tigers. Thought he was going to start this game, but Burkholder was given the start. So now Caden Heminger is going to come in and relieve Carter Burkholder of his duties. Does have 64 strikeouts this season. This will be his 13th appearance. He's 3-2 this year with a 3.05 ERA.
Now pitching number 22, Caden Heminger.
So let's see if he can get out of the jam here. Just got to see him pitch early on in the season against South Central. Very good, arguably the best pitcher that Lacrosse has. So in an elimination game like this, you got to make sure you go out swinging, and they're going to throw in their best arm right here with Caden Heminger. But what were you saying, Josh?
I don't know why they didn't start with Heminger, to be honest with you. Burkholder gives a little bit of a different look, but I just don't know why you don't start your ace in a game this important, especially since the previous 2 games have been blowouts in South Central's favor.
Yeah, both teams not starting their ace today. Their number 3s got the start. Obviously, Jacob Oman's going to get the start for South Central, but have to assume that maybe both managers are saving their ace for potentially the championship game. But, hey, if the game's going like this and it's a single elimination, you got to throw in your best pitcher if the circumstances call for it. So Heminger is going to come in this ball game, see if he can limit the damage.
Absolutely. But it's not starting off too good for Cade. 2 balls, 2 in the dirt, 1 loud hot rod. Matt Knight, or Dark Knight, for a little Batman reference, to get to second base there. Runners in scoring position with Young, even though he is struggling a little bit here in the late part of the senior year.
You guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Todd.
Yeah, sorry.
And the suicide bunt works here. It is now 2 outs, 6-0.
So picture perfect start here for the Satellites. Wouldn't say so for the Tigers, but we're still in the 1st inning, so plenty of baseball left to be played. But their starter for the game, Carter Burkholder, has been given the boot. Now Heminger is going to be on the mound here, but was able to get a quick out there. But Satellites did score a run, so let's see if he can limit the damage here. 2 outs.
And there is another run after Hampshire goes 2 for 2 so far with the infield single.
So Zach's got 2 singles this inning. Now Gavin Gross, who had a bloop singer his last time up, he'll be due up here.
Really sounds like Lacrosse is having trouble in the field today.
They're absolutely having trouble in the field today.
Made a couple costly
And there
errors,
is a
couple costly
pickle
overthrows.
that ends up in the third out.
All right, so it sounds like Zach may have been caught in a pickle there. The Tigers are able to get him out, so we're going to advance to the bottom of the first inning, and Jacob Omen's going to get on that bump really fast and has a nice, comfortable 6-0 lead here. So,
you know, one thing I will say about Lacrosse's pitcher, Caden Heminger, is he's a lot more aware of everything. You know, that kid, I've talked to him a couple times before, and he's actually, I mean, he used to go to Valpo, and then he transferred to Lacrosse, and coming there, I mean, they pretty much turned him into a pitcher, and they've done everything with him. You know, I mean, I've seen so much like improvement from him over the past year, especially coming into this year. So I definitely think it was a good idea switching from Carter to Caden Heminger.
Yeah, Caden got some nice big outs there, got out of a little bit of a pickle. Carter Burkholder gave up 6 runs in that inning. So now Heminger is going to pitch the rest of this game. There's Jacob Omen. He's going to be getting the start here for the Satellites. 5.34 ERA. He's undefeated, 2-0, and the Satellites are undefeated, 2-0 in both of his starts. This will be his 9th appearance this season. Has 27 strikeouts. So let's see what he does today against a very good hitting Tigers team. We will start this bottom of the first. Satellites up 6-0 here. Jacob Omen's going to come out and pitch this bottom of the first here pretty shortly. Looks like we're having a little bit of connection issues here, but just give it some time. We'll have Josh back here with us shortly. But due up, lead off here for the
Sorry,
Tigers
boys,
going
that
to
was
be
a
Brendan
strikeout.
Tarter.
I forgot I was on mute. Ball 1, ball 2 so far.
All right, so Jacob Omen gets his first strikeout of the day against Todd. Talked about him earlier, Brendan Tarter. Is a very dangerous bat, so props to Jacob Omen for getting the first out of the inning as he gets his first strikeout. It's got to be a good confidence boost right there to get the leadoff man for the Tigers out.
Just a little high for ball 3 on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Count 3-1. And there goes an absolute walk after the first strikeout of the game so far.
So Noah Kneifel, the center fielder, he's going to draw the walk. There is now Blaine Russ, the shortstop. He's going to be due up here.
Russ comes in. Pick off. No go for Omen on that one. Russ comes in at 700. Guys, so do you think the matchup is updated, or do you think that's the actual stat?
Yeah, it sounds like the Tigers have not updated, or maybe I'm not sure whose job it is, but Max Prep doesn't have their stats updated, so we're gonna. I mean, we could talk about it, but
just made the corner on that one for strike one. Count 1-1 so far.
1-1 to the shortstop, Blaine Rust.
Rust kind of has an interesting batting style. He takes that foot as soon as the pitch comes out, and he throws it way out of the strike zone, kind of in a ocean, what you would say. Not even a bucket.
So let's see what Blaine Rust can do here. Is the count still 1-1, Josh, or is it moved
It is
to
3-1.
3-1?
And there goes a walk.
So the Tigers being very disciplined here early on, drawing 2 walks after the strikeout with now the pitcher. He was playing third base, but now he's going to be doing the pitching, Caden Hemiger. He's going to be due up here.
Dangerous batter here, Hemiker, with runners on first and second so far for the Tigers. And there is a strike on the fastball for Hemiker. Or Ullman throwing.
Jacob Oman starts him out 0-1. Sound like that one went to the backstop. Is that a 1-1 here, Josh?
Yep, it was just a little bit high there, Aiden.
All right, so 1-1 here to Caden Heminger. Was a runner able to advance to third and second there, Josh? Or
both runners were able to advance on the play there. We're in the scoring positions or the money position. And Hemiker just whiffs on that one for strike 2.
So 2 strikes here on Heminger. Let's see what his approach is. With 2 men in scoring position.
And he is gone after going fishing for that breaking ball.
And so Jacob Oman quickly gets his second strikeout of the day, his 29th of the season. But now Carter Burkholder, who started this game at pitcher, I have to assume he may have just double switched with Hemiger, so maybe he's playing third base now. Maybe we can double check that next inning with Josh, but he's going to be due up here.
Absolutely. And there's a big swing and miss from Carter. Count 1-1 so far.
1-1 here on Carter Burkholder.
Coleman, take some time. And he just drops it right there for strike 2. Beautiful breaking ball on that one.
What would you say is Jacob's best pitch, Todd? We were talking about the fastball. He also has that nice curveball as well.
I don't know. Jacob, I mean, he really interchanges pitches really well. You know, he knows when to not use his fastball. He knows when to use his fastball. He knows when to use a breaking ball. And, you know, a couple of years ago, I mean, I don't know if he still has it in his arsenal. I talked about it at Griffith, but he does like to throw that occasional knuckleball.
That's right, that knuckleball. Let's see if he whips it out today. If he throws that, Josh, you got to let us know because we were talking about that. So if you ever see like little knuckleball action.
And he is gone for the third strikeout on this one. We'll be back after the commercial break here.
So Jacob Oman gets 3 strikeouts there. Is now we're going to head to the top of the second. But first we'll have our commercial break here.
Hello, Satellite fans. All-Star Autos, a proud sponsor of Regan's Corner and Satellite Baseball. Please go check them out. They specialize in low-mileage, high-quality vehicles in LaPorte County, leader in the used car business. If you want all-star prices and a great vehicle, go down and contact them below and be an all-star today. Hello, sports fans. Break 4. Doing it a little bit different. Trying to give the cultural aspect to religion. Please go check them out down below on the website and on their shop. For further information on the shop, great material, and go ask Erica and Alex. Go Satellites!
Big thank you to our 2 sponsors there, ads. So now we're going to start this top of the second here. Satellites exploded for 6 runs back in the first inning. Couple of suicide bunts for the Satellites. Couple of sack opportunities as Brandon Young got a sack bunt RBI. Tommy Sullivan did as well. A couple of errors for the Tigers is now. Sounds like Gavin Gross is due up next here. Zach was caught in a pickle back in the first inning, so Gavin Gross should be due up here. Had a bloop single his last time up.
Okay, I can't figure it out. My camera's not working. But anyways, I think Gavin Gross is, just like, the blooper before, Gavin Gross is going to put the ball in play. So Lacrosse has got to be ready to make plays this inning.
Heminger is going to come out here and pitch this top of the second. Maybe Josh, your mic is muted. I don't know if the inning has started yet, but your mic is on mute.
It's already 2 on here with Bryson Glycic coming up here. First and second here. Already trouble for Hemiker.
All right, so it sounds like Gavin Gross got on base and Bradley Farrell got on base as well. That one sounds like it's ripped. Some more runs here for the Satellites.
A liner right to the second baseman. Just out of his reach there for another error.
Second baseman, Tommy Sullivan.
Allows another run here for the Satellites.
So Satellites are being very aggressive here early on. 8-0 lead against the Tigers. Burkholder started this game, but Heminger has come in and Burkholder gave up 6 back in the first. Hemiger's already given up 2 in this inning. Here's now Tommy Sullivan, who suicide bunted, got 2 RBIs.
And boys, Big Country takes the base off of the pass ball there, right in front of him.
So Bryson Glycic now at second. Satellites up 8-0 here.
With a dangerous hitter and Tommy Sullivan in runners for scored position. Just a little bit off the inside corner on that one with the fastball. For ball 2 here.
Nobody out here in this top of the second. 2-0 on Tommy Sullivan, who already has 2 RBIs in this game.
And Sullivan drives it, and it's going to be caught. But it's going to be a sac fly, an RBI for Tommy Sullivan.
Tommy Sullivan's making his mark on this game. Already has 3 RBIs. As Bradley Farrell scored from third there. Now the catcher, Jackson Boss, who walked his last time up, he will be batting here with only 1 out. Bryson Glycic still off second, Josh?
Bryson Glycic is still on second. He's about to take third base here and walk in after the pass ball again from Hamiker to Rhoda. The 2 Trine boys seem not to get on track here so far.
So a couple pass balls here for the Tigers have really hurt them, as now Bryson Glycic is on third. Started off this inning with a single, or his at bat, I should say, not started off the inning, but his most recent at bat was able to get a single here.
Just
Now
missed a
he's-
little high on that one. 2 balls.
2 balls, no strikes on Jackson Boss.
And Jackson knows the 4 Ds of dodgeball. Dip, dodge, and dodge. Where the walk here, runners on the corners with Jacob only the pitcher coming out.
Jackson Boss with back-to-back walks is now the pitcher, Jacob Oman, who had 3 strikeouts back in that first inning. Also had a single his last time due up. He will be batting here in the top of the second with only 1 out. Only 1 out.
So, Todd, what do you kind of, as a pitcher struggling as kind of Hammaker is, what do you say to yourself to kind of get yourself back in track?
Honestly, as myself personally, I always just took a deep breath and always it might sound really weird, but I started to sing my favorite song in my head, or I started to whistle a song, or hum it. And people would start to hear it and they'd be thinking, what is he doing? But it's clear in my head, you're just doing something. Take your mind off the game. It's not that deep. You just got to focus on what's here. You just got to focus up, and it clears your mind when you're just taking your mind straight off the game, for a couple seconds, even if it's just for that quick snap when you threw the ball. It doesn't really matter. It's just clearing your head at that point.
Absolutely. What if you have a runner like Aaron Hogan pinch running there in a 9-run ball game? What do you think here?
Honestly, if he's at first, I'm definitely thinking, hey, I gotta watch his leadoff, and I'm gonna base my pitch off his leadoff because, when I was in high school, most runners, they had a twitch. You could tell that they were going, they're leaning towards second, or their leadoff's 1 step bigger, stuff like that. Noticing the little stuff when you're a pitcher, and either throwing a fastball, because I know my catcher's going to get a better pick off that to throw it down and stuff like that. So it's just reading the runner and stuff.
Absolutely. And Big Country coming in, stubbling, brubbling, and scores.
So the Satellites up 10-0 here, top of the second. Sounds like Jacob Oman gets RBI there. Is that correct, Josh?
Nope, pass ball.
All right, so pass ball. So that's going to be 10-0 Satellites. As count is 2-1 here on Jacob Oman. Still only 1 out here.
And
Jackson
Oman
Boss
walks
is
there.
Jacob Oman walks. So man on first was Jackson. Is Jackson Boss off second here, Josh?
Jackson Boss is third off of that.
So Jackson Boss is off of third. Jacob Oman's off of first. The double play is in effect here with Matt Knight, who walked his last time up. Let's see what his approach is here. With
And great play. Great heads-up play by Oman, taking the base while Hammaker was still in his line. And Hogan, with his speed, just took advantage with that and scores 11-0 here at Satellite Field, with Knight up with Oman at second currently.
So it sounds like our predictions have been a little bit off here, as the Satellites have maybe took offense to us saying that they were only going to score 6 or 5 runs. Have already scored 11 runs here in the top of the second. So,
hey, or we just jinxed it.
There's always the announcer jinx that exists, so that's always a possibility as well. But man, I thought this was going to be a very close contested ball game, and it has been quite the opposite, as the Satellites have really been in control.
Yeah, they've been in control the whole game. whole game.
Kind of reminded me of the game a little bit yesterday, Josh, where they got out to this big lead, but I'm sure they won't score 25 runs as I'm knocking on wood here. Don't want to jinx that, but let's see if they can keep this going here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if they can keep this rolling, keep this tide moving.
So Matt Knight is up to the plate, Josh. Is that correct? With 2 balls, no strikes?
Yeah.
Sounds like another ball there. So 3-0 here to Matt Knight. Jacob Oman off of second. Still only 1 out here.
And there's
Center fielder Brandon Young.
So men on first and second here for the Satellites. Brandon Young, who had a sac bunt RBI. He will be due up here with only 1 out, but the double play is in effect here, so maybe the Tigers can potentially turn 2 on a ground ball.
And there's
like
a
that's
hit
called strike.
batsman. And boys, here's my favorite call of all time. It's a Bonds-like level. Bases loaded here with Zach Hanchire up to bat.
So bases juiced with the third baseman who already has 2 singles in this game. He will be due up here. See what. Believe Heminger is still in the game for the Tigers, having a rough outing here, this top of the second, giving up 5 runs after a 6-run first inning for the Satellites.
Absolutely. It's 1-1 so far here with the bases juiced. Heminger is struggling here.
So Todd talked about it earlier. Someone needs to step up for the Tigers, and they're going to need that here pretty quickly, Todd. If they do not want this game to get out of reach, sounds like someone here's got to fire them up after a couple of rough innings here. And the bleeding still isn't over, as there's only 1 out here with the bases loaded, and one of the most dangerous hitters on the Satellites due up here. It sounds like it's 2-1.
It's 2-2.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that, Aiden. It's definitely not looking good at this point.
And that is a core-bound fly ball on that one. Still count 2-2. 1 out.
Zach's able to foul that one away. The count stays at 2-2.
Heminger in the windup here with runners in scoring positions. Just a little high on that one. You could see the smoke. It's just too bad it wasn't in the strike zone.
So full count, bases loaded, 1 out. Sounds like that one was fouled off.
It was fouled off. That is staying alive. Staying alive on this one. With bases loaded here, this is where stars become legends, even though it's an 11-point game here. And speaking of that, 3 for 3 for Hanchire and a great Lacrosse. So to hit only run here, and the bases are still a Bonds-like level.
So Zach's already able to get his 3rd single of the day. That's going to be an RBI single. As the damage is not done yet, the Satellites keep pounding this lead. 12-0 here. Base is juice for Gavin Gross, who also has a nice set of singles in this game. Just efficient hit. Just a lot of efficient hitting here early on by the Satellites.
Yeah, the Satellites have just been on fire like they were last week. I mean, yesterday with the 22, 25-point game there. You just wonder, going against Oregon Davis last year, them almost getting no hit, but still winning the sectional, if the runs are just pouring in a little too soon here, especially since they absolutely destroyed a bad team in Triton earlier today.
All right, so Oregon, that answers our question of who is in the championship game here. So the winner of this game will go on to face Oregon Davis. That game is scheduled for Monday.
Fun fact,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, I almost got thrown out of the game last year because they thought I was tipping pitches when they were throwing a no-hitter.
were you, Josh? Were you signaling over? What were you doing that was so suspicious that made them think you were tipping pitches?
I don't know. If you have a no-hitter, I must be fired from tipping pitches then. But anyway, back to the game. And there is a strikeout, throw him out to end the inning there. Okay.
So that's the end of the inning here for the Tigers. Give up 6 runs in both innings as the score is going to go to 12-0 here. Really, really rough couple of first innings here for the Tigers, but they have plenty of opportunities here as the game is still early on to add some runs here. Had a couple of opportunities in the first. Did have runners in scoring position, but unable to bring those home. So let's see how they do here with Jesse Rhoda, the catcher, leading off.
Lacrosse is going to need a big inning to respond to that.
Yeah, Jesse Rhoda, Ian Doms, and Cade Kazelke. So they got plenty of good batters right there. Let's see how Rhoda starts them off here with a deficit like this. Todd, what would your be mentality if you were on the Tigers? Would you just be trying to get on base, take it one run at a time? What would your mentality be?
Absolutely. Like right now, I'm acting like it's a 1-0 ball game. You know, we're trying to chase after any run we can get right now. Because, I mean, you can't 10-run rule to the 5th inning. So even if it's the bottom of the second now. So, I mean, you still have a lot of game left to play. So, I mean, just chip at it away one hit at a time, just getting on base, drawing walks.
Yeah, like you talked about,
boys.
Oop, go ahead, Josh. What were you saying?
I'm saying absolutely, boys. And you got a good hitter in Jesse Rhoda. Ullman's breaking balls and the fastball is working for him so far. But you still got across, so you can't just absolutely fall asleep. And these innings going into the 5th. Just a little high on that one. And a strike on the fastball there, boys. 1-1 is the count.
1-1 to the catcher, Jesse Rhoda. As the Tigers are looking to get any runners on here, so a walk or a single will do that. As they were able to draw 2 walks back in the first inning, but unable to capitalize on those. Jacob Bowman had 3 big strikeouts.
3 balls, 1, still in the second inning here, bottom of the second. And Rhoda thought it was a ball 4 on that one. Just a little bit in the corner.
Sounds like we got a full count up coming here to Jesse Rhoda.
We have an absolute full count here coming to Jesse Rhoda. And he goes. Strikeout after trying to stab the ball into fair play. Ian Domes comes in.
It's a very dangerous lefty hitter, Ian Domes. If I told you Jacob Oman was going to have 4 strikeouts through the first 2 innings, Todd, would you think the Satellites were going to win this game pretty easily?
Absolutely. I mean, if this would have happened all the time, we could have expected it. But I mean, I'm so happy that it happened because it's such a great feeling as a pitcher, just throwing a good game at that point. But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like it feels bad for the Tigers.
You do feel bad for the Tigers, but Jacob Oman, we talked about it in the pregame, Todd. If he's in control and in command, it's going to be a very, very long day for these batters of the Tigers as they're still looking for their first hit here with Cade Kazelke. Did Ian Doms, what was his result, Josh?
Ian Doms walks.
All right, so the Tigers do get a base runner here with only 1 out in the bottom of the second. That's Jacob Oman's 3rd walk of the game. Cade Kazelke, the right fielder. We do up here.
And Doms goes to third here. Well, Kazelke is in a 1-1 count.
Sounds like Ian Doms is able to either maybe a couple pass balls as he's on 3rd here. Maybe the first run of the ball game here for the Tigers is, I believe it's still 1-1 on Cade Kazelke.
Strike there on Kazelke there, 2.
So 2 strikes here on Kazelke.
Kazelke staying alive on that one, even though there is a full count currently. And he gets him looking. Kazelke gets a backwards K for his sleeping.
So another strikeout by Jacob Oman. He must have eaten his Wheaties this morning because through 8 batters, he has 5 strikeouts. As now Tanner Ringel, the second baseman, is due up here. Sac fly is out of question, unfortunately, for the Tigers, so he's going to have to get a base hit or possibly a passed ball to score that runner, Ian Doms, from 3rd.
Count 1-1 here. Count 2-1 here after the failed bunt attempt here.
So 2 strikes here on Tanner Ringel. Has to protect, doesn't want to give Jacob Oman his 6th strikeout of the day.
This time in the break here from the let's see how Jacob Ullman's doing in our tracker, sponsored by Ron Heggie for Sheriff. 5, and there goes the first run. Stumbling, bumbling, and diving in Domes into the first run.
So the Tigers get their first one of the ball game. Was that a pass ball, Josh? What was the outcome of the bat?
That was a pass ball, and Ian Domes was chugging lugging into home plate.
So maybe this can get something, maybe a spark here for the Tigers as they get their first run of the ball game. Down 12-1 here, 2 outs.
And speaking of another strikeout, Jacob Ullman.
Ooh. So 6 strikeouts today for Jacob Omen. As Tanner Ringel strikes out. Is now we're going to be going here into the top of the third. Satellites and commanding control of this ball game. As believe Gavin Gross will be due up in this top of the third here. But Jacob Omen through the first 2 innings has walked 3 but struck out 6. So impressive start here by Jacob Omen. Nice to see him get back on track after a rough outing, his last appearance. So nice to see him come out and start strong against a very good hitting team in Lacrosse. So let's see if the Tiger or the Satellites can add some more runs here as we head to the top of the third. As they have scored 6 runs. And
were you able to hear the music, ladies and gentlemen?
Yep. Bradley Farrell is due up here. He also has a set of singles in this game.
Yeah, Bradley Farrell's been. Speaking of Farrell, that is a line drive for the first out here. You don't even have to move the scoreboard here. And Big Country, Bryson Glycic coming up.
So Bradley Farrell lines out there is now Bryson Glycic, who had an infield fly back in the first inning, singled his last at bat. He will be due up here. 1 out, top of the third.
Currently 1 ball so far. And for the fans who's wondering if we're going to have a video broadcast for the rest of the year, we're going to have an audio broadcast. And that ball is driving. And that is gone. A Bryson Glycic home run here.
So Bryson Glycic gets his 2nd home run of the season. Now tied for the lead in home runs with Zach Honchar. So that's a big blast there by Bryson Glycic. Was that to right field, Josh? Where did he hit that ball?
That was an absolute bomb to right field.
All right, so Bryson Glycic single and a home run in this game as the Satellites increase their lead to 13-1 here. With Tommy Sullivan, who already has 3 RBIs in this game, he's going to be due up here.
I think Lacrosse has just got to keep composure right there. That run, that's them getting that one back. That's them in that competitive nature right now. They got to focus up and score back, get these next outs, and get back in the dugout.
Absolutely, Todd. After giving a long bomb like Glycic had, about 360 feet there on that bomb there, on our All-Star Autos home run tracker. Even though this is strictly a audio hybrid broadcast. 2 strikes here on Jackson Boss.
It sounds like Tommy was retired. So Jackson Boss, who has 2 walks in this game, is going to be due up here with 2 outs in the top of the third.
And Jackson Boss knows the 4 Ds of dodgeball: dip, dodge, and dodge. The ball here. And there goes the inning here. So, Aiden, put us on a commercial break here.
So now we're going to head to our commercial. Want to give a shout out to Rob Heggie. He has our vote here at Regan's Corner Sports. He's up for sheriff, so thank you to him for sponsoring this game here today. As he has our vote, so there's a big shout out to him. Thank you for supporting the Satellites. As they're gonna head to the bottom of the third inning here, up 13-1, with Jacob Oman coming out to pitch this bottom of the third. I'm assuming maybe Zach Coulter wants to maybe make a pitching change, but I don't want to give the announcers jinx. But he hasn't given up a hit so far, does have 6 strikeouts, so maybe they'll keep him out here. Not sure what the mentality is going to be, but he's going to come out and pitch this bottom of the third here pretty shortly, or not. We'll see here shortly. But top of the lineup's going to be due up here for the Tigers is Brendan Tarter, who struck out his last time up. He will be due up here.
There's 1 strike here to Tarter. And there's another strikeout.
Baseman Noah Knighton.
So Brendan Tarter, back-to-back strikeouts, is now Noah Kneifel, the center fielder, who was able to draw a walk his last time up. He'll be due up here. Sounds like the count is either 1-1 or 1-2 here.
It's 2-0 so far here. That's my bad, ladies and gentlemen. Taking time. And Jackson Boss needs a new glove after the fastball or the breaking ball at that point rips the glove. Aiden, how many times have you ever seen that? That's kind of it's a little bit off there. It's a little bit, but just a little bit high on that one. 2-2 and a 1-13 ball game.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Todd or Josh, but I don't think I've ever seen the catcher's glove rip before. Maybe that's the webbing. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but yeah, that's new for me. So hopefully they can get him a nice new glove there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen it before, but I mean, I've never personally done it. So I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Jacob Oman.
Absolutely.
Not sure.
And
what were you saying, Josh?
He just struck out a guy, but it hit the plate and went way in the backstop. So Rust leads the first base. Wait, not Rust. Farrell leads first base. Oh.
Was that Kneifel that was able to reach there, Josh?
Yeah. That was Kneifel.
Okay, so now Blaine Rust is due up here. He was able to draw a walk his last time up. I believe that still goes down as a strikeout, right, Todd? It's just
Monday.
Doesn't count as an out.
Yep, it goes as a strikeout, but it also goes as an error towards the catcher.
So Jacob Bowman has 8 strikeouts today. Only 1 out here in this bottom of the third. Sounds like that one went back to the backstop.
Yeah, boys, it was just a bit high on that one. It was, I mean, Jake Bowman right now is scaring the living daylights off me because that 1%er, if you don't know in satellite field, there's literally a 1% loop for here in the press box, but he's scaring the daisies out of me with that one.
Now Blaine Rust is going to step back in the box. Sounds like the count is 3-0 here to Blaine, so see if he can draw another walk.
Yes, runners on the corners after the walk here.
So now
Yes.
Caden Heminger.
You got me on that one.
Caden Heminger will be due up here. He struck out his last time out.
Absolutely. As Coach Carr said, even Stevie Wonder could have walked on that one. But anyway, the runners score here after the thrown error on Jackson Boss.
So the Tigers able to get their second run of the ball game. As sounds like Blaine Rust is off of first. Is that correct? Or off of second? Is that correct, Josh? Noah Kneifel scored.
No, yes, Kneifel scored on that one, and Rust is on second base. Okay, runner, 2 balls. Now after the pass ball on Boss, he was looking, seeing, and Russ ends up on third here, 3-0 count. And there goes a strike on the play there, boys. 1.
So 3-1 here to Caden Heminger.
And there's a swing and a miss there.
So now we got a full count upcoming, only 1 out. Let's see if Jacob Omen can get his 9th strikeout of the game.
And Heminger draws the walk here. Pitching change about to come here.
So it sounds like Jacob Omen's day is over. Really, really impressive stuff here from him. Although he did walk 4 batters, he struck out 8 and did not give up a hit. So whoever comes in for him will technically have the no-hitter still going. I don't never like to say that, especially this early in the game. But so if I jinx it, you can blame me. But my apologies. As Josh will let us know here shortly who's going to come in to relieve Jacob Omen.
It will be Big Country. Bryson Glycic, number 7 here. He's had a couple outings that you don't want to remember, but with a 13-2 lead here, I think Bryson Glycic could right the wrongs of the regular season and start anew here.
So it sounds like Bryson Glycic's going to be doing the pitching. I'm assuming Jacob Omen either moved to first or maybe did a double switch with Tommy Sullivan, or maybe a triple switch. Maybe Gavin Gross is now playing second. Tommy may have moved over to first, and maybe Jacob's at short. We'll have to see when they come out on defense. But looks like Bryson Glycic's day is over at first, as he's going to come in and relieve Jacob Omen.
I mean, if you want. Here's the thing, Coach.
Carter Burkholder's up here with men on first and third. May have lost connection with Josh. Josh is still there. You know we did lose Josh, so we'll wait for him to get back here. As Carter Burkholder is going to be due up here with Bryson Glycic coming in to relieve Jacob Omen. Pitched 3 really strong innings. Did allow 2 runs, but a hefty amount of strikeouts, 4 walks. His day is over with, but I'm sure if you told Todd and I that this would be his stat line, we would both, I think, agree that the Satellites would probably win this game, and they're doing just that. As we'll get the game back up here shortly for you. I believe the score is still 13-2, but the Tigers did have a runner in scoring position, so let's see if they were able to capitalize on that. Let's pull up some MLB scores. Looks like Royals and the Twins are heading into the bottom of the 9th. Royals up 7-3. Yankees up 1-0 over the Rays. That game is going into the bottom of the 4th. Reds and Giants. That game's in the bottom of the 3rd. The Reds are up 3-1. And the Cardinals were able to hang on and beat the Brewers 8-3. As Todd's White Sox are playing the Cubs today, so a good old fashioned Chicago rivalry game there. Is got the Cubs versus the White Sox. Looks like Cueto is going to be getting a start for the White Sox against Keegan Thompson. So
that's what I was just about to talk about, was Johnny Cueto about to start today.
Yeah, Cueto's been having a really good season this year, which is, I'm not sure how old he is, but I feel like he's been pitching. I'm 22, and I remember when he used to be pitching on the Giants, on the is he on the Reds too? Yeah, he was on the Reds.
He's 36.
And he's 36. Wow. So impressive stuff here from Johnny Cueto here early on. He's one of those pitchers who kind of has a weird not a weird windup, but
oh yeah, no, it's weird. He likes to mess with his timing all the time.
That's what I was gonna go to. His rhythm. He kind of similar to like Nestor and Marcus Stroman does that a little bit, where he kind of, like you said, will mess up a batter's timing. But that's a great pitching match. I'm definitely gonna have to tune in to see that game after this one's obviously over with. We got a lot of good baseball games tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, big games in the Major League so far. But the count is 2-2 with 1 out so far here with Glycic on the mound.
So Glycic's on the mound. Is the score still 13-2, Josh, or were the Tigers able to add some more runs there?
It is still 13-2 there, Aiden, with Aroda coming up with his running mate from Trine on second, and Rust on third. With Glycic in the stretch, Big Country so far has had kind of a throwing strikes problem.
So men on. Oops, it looks like the Tigers were able to get another run there.
Pass ball there, Aiden. Throwing in the dirt there, breaking ball just didn't break. Just into the dirt, 1-1 so far, 2 outs.
So 2-1 here to Jesse Rhoda. 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Satellites still in good control of this game, 13-3.
big swing. Rhoda's I got a cat ball here, ladies and gentlemen. Swinging in the ocean on that one. Free ball here with runner on third here. I don't want to foreshadow anything. Accidentally put the 3 there. And anyway, he is gone.
So Bryson Glycic able to get a strikeout here, as that's going to be the 10th or the 9th strikeout of the ball game here for the Satellites pitching. As we're going to be headed to the top of the 4th here. Believe Jackson Boss is going to be due up, who has walked in both of his plate appearances. But the Satellites started off hot in this game. 6 runs in both the first 2 innings. The Tigers were able to score a couple runs this inning, but the 10-run rule is in effect, but the Tigers will have 2 more opportunities to bat as we head to the top of the 4th here. But the Satellites also will have 2 more opportunities to add some runs, so we'll see how these next couple innings go. Obviously, the winner of this game is going to be playing Oregon Davis on Monday for the championship game, as they were able to come out on top against Triton. So we will resume this top of the 4th here. Last time we checked, Caden Heminger was on the mound, so Josh will let us know here pretty shortly if he's still going to come out here and pitch. The Tigers have used 2 of their top pitchers in Carter Burkholder and Caden Heminger, so let's see if he's going to pitch this top of the 4th, or maybe they're going to bring in a new pitcher here. The story of the game so far has been Jacob Oman. Tossed 8 strikeouts, only gave up 2 runs. Still hasn't allowed a hit. So I believe still hasn't allowed a hit. So the Satellites have a little no-no going on here.
For the Satellites, number 3, Jacob Oman.
Oh, as I was wrong, it's Jacob Oman up to the plate. Jacob Oman singled and walked today.
Absolutely. Russ with one heck of a play on that one for the first out. Just grabs it out of midair on the hop. Aaron Hogan steps into the bat here. The speedster.
Satellites, number 2, Aaron Hogan.
They call him the Flash for his absolute speedster mentality on the bases here. Do you think he's going to square up a bunt to get a base hit here? Because he's done a lot last year in your time with the Satellites, Todd.
Yeah,
One
so
ball so
sounds
far.
like this is going to be Aaron Hogan's first at-bat of the game here. Snagged a couple bases earlier in this game. Played center field the other day for Brandon Young, but now he's going to be playing left field. Alex Newburn obviously in right.
And there's the second out. Ground out to the third baseman for Lacrosse.
With Brandon Young, who was hit by a pitch his last at-bat. He's going to be due up here. Also had a sac bunt back in the first inning.
Brandon Young.
Brandon Young steps into play here. He's another speedster. I mean, let's hope Brandon Young gets on base here so we can see the speed of Young. We haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I feel like he's been stuck on that 20 stolen bases for a while now, but hey, 20 stolen bases is still very impressive. And I believe it's a 26 game season. This will be the 27th game. So 20 stolen bases in 26 games is very good.
Absolutely. He wanted that pitch. He almost went fishing, but he pulled the rod back a little bit for a 2-0 count.
That ball sounds like it was popped up.
It was sky to the school for a 5-ball on that one. And some JV, please go get some 5 balls on that one. And Brandon Young knows the 4 Ds of dodgeball. Dip, dodge, and dodge. 3-1 so far.
The Satellites this year as a team have 96 stolen bases. Not sure where that ranks in Porter County, but I'm sure it's one of the highest.
Another one here. It is a full count after a school-bound foul ball on that one. If you have any truck or car near the school, you might want to check it.
It's a full count here. Let's see if the Tigers can make this a quick inning and not give up not only a run, but a base runner here. As sounds like Brandon Young may have gotten a walk there. Is that correct, Josh?
Brandon Young popped out to the third baseman there.
So that's the end of the inning.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to be heading to the bottom of the 4th here. Satellites still in big control, 13-3. As I believe Jesse Rhoda is going to be due up here for the Tigers. Could be Ian Doms as well. But the Satellites little kind of cooled off here after the first 2 innings. But defense-wise and pitching-wise, my prediction was I thought they were going to score 7 runs. They've scored 13, but defensively I did say they're only going to give up 3 runs, so they're helping me out there. We're going to be heading to the bottom of the 4th here pretty shortly. Jacob Oman had a really strong outing. Through 3 innings, was able to get 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, only gave up 2 runs. Bryson Glycic's coming in relief for him. Was able to get a strikeout of his own last inning. So let's see if he can make a quick work here of these Tiger batters, as we're going to be starting this bottom of the 4th here pretty shortly. Bryson Glycic still on the mound, Josh, for the Satellites.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryson Glycic still on the mound for the Satellites. First strike to Ian Domes here. Had a base hit the last time he was up. Great slide in home plate for the first or second run for the Tigers. So go check out Domes' interview on Regan's Corner Sports Network as well. But anyway, 2 balls, 1 strike here. And that ball is skied. And Hogan runs it down for the first out there.
So Aaron Hogan taking over for Matt Knight in left field. Makes a nice out there for the first out of the inning.
Absolutely. Konselke steps into the plate and swings right through the breaking ball on that one. Just a little bit of Konselke on that one for the first strike.
Selke struck out his last time up.
Just a little bit outside. Count 1-1 here, Aiden. Where's the Todster? There's 2 balls.
So 2-1 here to Cade Konselke.
And that
sounds
ball,
like it was put in play.
That ball is also foul. Great shot by Konselke. Just too bad it was way foul.
So 2-2 here. 1 out. Bottom of the 4th.
Konselke knows the 3 D's, the dodgeball, dip, dodge, and dodge with that last one. Infield single on that one. And Glycic looks like he's going to be down.
Infield single there for Cade Konselke. Was he hit with the ball, Josh? What happened there with Bryson Glycic?
Looked like Bryson sprained his or rolled his ankle a little bit there after diving, trying to flip it to the first baseman. But Big Country, this is one of the toughest satellites we know. He's back on the mound like nothing happened. Just a few seconds there. He's been worse there. 1 out so far.
So only 1 out here. Tanner Ringel up to the dish. Cade Konselke off of first.
Just a bit outside on that one there, Aiden. Maybe the plant leg with the rolled ankle is having a little bit of a trouble here. Ball
Sounds
2
like
there.
That was a little outside, so 2-0.
Yes. It was just a little outside on there for 2 balls. Runner on first here. And Ringel up in play. Trying the bunt and gets called for the lack of fishing on that one.
So 2 balls, 1 strike here to Tanner Ringel, second baseman.
A pickoff attempt from Glycic did not pan through. Glycic looks. And just a little high on that one. Ball 3.
So 3-1 upcoming here to Tanner Ringel.
And Ringel thought it was ball 4. He was halfway up the line before the umpire called it a strike. Full count.
So 3-2 upcoming here. Let's see. That ball sounds like it was put in play.
Great play by Jacob Ullman. Great stretch from Tommy Sylvan.
So Tanner Ringel grounds into a fielder's choice as Cade Konselke is off of second, but Brendan Tarter due up here. Struck out in both his plate appearances.
And the starter just absolutely whiffed on that one. His foot was in the ocean, like his name. 1 2 strikes on that one.
So 2 strikes here on Brendan Tarter. He's got to protect here.
Just a little high on that one for ball 1.
So the 1 and 2 upcoming from Bryson Glycic here to Brendan Tarter.
And back to Ullman, the shortstop, to end that half inning. Now, Aiden, go back to our commercial break for you.
Hello, Satellite fans. All-Star Autos, proud sponsor of Regan's Corner and Satellite Baseball. Please go check them out. They specialize in low-mileage, high-quality vehicles in LaPorte County, leader in the used car business. If you want all-star prices and a great vehicle, go down and contact them below and be an all-star today.
Sponsor of the IHSAA.
There's our sponsor for this game, All-Star Autos. Please go check them out. They've helped us out tremendously. So please go support them. To everyone listening to this game, as we're going to be headed to the top of the 5th. Satellites have an opportunity to finish this game as the 10-run rule is in effect here. Yes, it is the playoffs, but that rule still counts in the playoffs. As I believe Zach Honchar is going to be due up here. Honchar.
Off top of the 5th with Satellites, third baseman Zach.
Hanchar currently up here in the bottom of the 5th. Top of the 5th here.
He had a RBI single his last at bat, so let's see how he starts off this top of the 5th. Sounds like that's in for a called strike.
It was for a call strike there, Aiden. Just a little outside there for ball 1.
So 1-1 upcoming here to Zach, who has 3 singles today.
And Hanchar knows the 3-4 D's a dodgeball, dip, dodge, and dodge with the second ball here thrown from Hanaker.
So 2-1 upcoming here to Zach, or 2-2. Yep, 2-2.
2 after foul ball on that one. Hamaker in the wind-up. And that ball is a core fly ball. If you're looking for a car after the windshield is most likely broke, go to All-Star Autos. A little plug there. 2-2 here. And there is another base hit from Hanchar.
Was that a single, Josh? Does he get his 4th single of the day? Or was he able to stretch it into it?
It's 4th single there.
So Zach gets his 4th single of the ball game. Has been the only batter here for the Satellites that has not gotten out. So Zach's having a big game here today when it's
almost
needed.
Almost the announcer jinx there, because he almost got picked off there, Aiden, after the trip. Here in the stretch, Hamaker looks down to Gross for 46.
Gavin Gross.
Pick off. Nope. Zach sure thought of it. We're taking a time out because it might have hit Zach right in the nose here.
So unfortunate injury here to Zach. You said it hit him on the nose, it looked like there, Josh?
Correction, folks. It hit the umpire in the nose, right? It hit the umpire in the nose. Correction there. It hit the umpire in the nose. Zach is perfectly A-OK.
So Zach's okay. Hopefully the umpire is okay as well. Never want to see them in any pain or injury. So hopefully the umpire can recover here. But sounds like got maybe plunked there in the nose off that pickoff attempt.
Absolutely, folks. So, where is kind of the game balls go to so far in this game, Aiden and Todd?
Yeah. Oh, Todd, you can start it out.
All right. Personally, right now, I think it goes to Jacob, just because he may have been pulled later on for 4 walks, but at the same time, posted 9 Ks in 3 innings. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm with Todd there. I think Jacob should get the ball defensively. Offensively, every single hitter for the Satellites have done their job. I guess I got to give that shout out to Bryson Glycic, who had that big home run. So you could say him. Tommy Sullivan's got 3 RBIs as well. I'll go with Bryson Glycic, though. That home run is pretty big in a semifinal game. So he's my offensive MVP. Jacob Omen gets the defensive MVP for me. Sounds like still a break in the action here, Josh. Still tending to that umpire at first.
Absolutely. Yes. Still tending to the umpire at first. This might go on for a while here in the break. So, boys, what are your thoughts on Oregon Davis, the game on Monday and Memorial Day?
Yeah, they're coming off a big win against Triton, so they played them early in the season. Were able to beat them early on. They're currently 9-11-1. But they have faced some good teams this year. Played Glenn, obviously a great team. They've beat Argos twice. They tied with Couts, so they lost to Lacrosse, who is currently playing today, 15-8. So that game's probably going to favor more towards South Central, but it is baseball, so you never know.
One thing I will say about Oregon Davis come playoff time is that they're always better. They will always play better in the playoffs because I don't know what it is, but it's just like something about them in the playoffs. They get more serious.
So that should hopefully be a good game on Monday.
Okay. Back in action, boys. Hammaker in the stretch and throws, trying to pick him off once again after the previous pickoff attempt was a no-go. Cade sure wants Zach.
So Gavin Gross still due up here. Bonchar off of first.
All one so far here. Cade looking over. Looking down. This pitcher just got the inside corner on that one. Pickoff again attempt here. Really wants to keep a dangerous Hanchar at first because the speed for the satellite offense kills. I mean, speaking of that, a stolen base, even though with a little bit of a pass ball on the end of it, if you would have made it to third.
I call that stolen base, right? Because you would have stolen it anyway.
Right, but they didn't make it a 10, so it's kind of. Oh, that's a good spot.
And an infield single by Gavin Gross. Runners on first and third with a dangerous Bradley Farrell coming up. With 3 singles already.
Brad Farrell.
Farrell looking to go, maybe going yard here to put some insurance runs in. And he is gone off of the pickoff move. Hammaker said night-night. Hammaker in the windup here. And a nice little chin music there. About 85 to Mr. Farrell. Hammaker reached back on that one. And the breaking ball just catches the inside corner on that one. Count 1-1. Hammaker in the windup here. Runner on third still. Hanchire. And ball 2 here.
Let's see if the Satellites can boost up that lead here. Even if the Tigers don't score a run next inning, we'll be over due to the 10-run rule. So, sound like dot ball was put in play, Josh.
Yes, a little insurance run after the error on second base here.
So Bradley Farrell gets an RBI. Is Zach Honchar is going to score from third.
Pitcher Bryce Glycic.
And Big Country steps in here. Bryson Glycic. Pitch. Hammaker is sure throwing the pitch outs here. Base runners, be ready. Another one. Farrell was ready for his assignment on that one. Just a little inside here, and a skipping rocks kind of throw from Jesse Arosha. I mean, one ball currently here. And there's a hits batsman there.
So Bryson Glycic hit by a pitch.
Runner for your pitcher now. Here he comes with it.
So now the Satellites have a man on first and second. Only one out here in this top of the fifth. With Tommy Sullivan, who has 3 RBIs in this game.
Don't
And
get
first
picked
base
off.
himself, number 15, Tyler Carr.
Tyler Carr comes into the ball game here.
Sounds like we got a pinch hitter.
First baseman,
We have a pinch
Tommy
runner.
Sullivan.
Or pinch runner. Yep, pinch runner.
With Tommy Sullivan here. Hemmicker and the Tigers could be in danger zone territory with Sullivan coming here. Tommy boy. And Rhoda throws to the first. Lowen. Farrell just to squeak into third here.
So Bradley Farrell off of third, Bryson Glycic on first with Tommy Sullivan at the plate.
And there's another pickoff attempt by Hemmicker here. And there's a bunt by Sullivan. And then another run. A safety squeeze was put on there. Pinch hitter Andrew Wazar comes in.
So probably a smart move here by Zach Coulter, bringing in a more defensive base lineup as Andrew Wazar, who has, we like to call him the brick wall here at Regan's corner. He's going to be due up here.
Number 16, Andrew Wazar.
Hopefully he has it his way. Was Andrew Wazar here getting a base hit? As we said, you're a infield single on that one for Andrew Wazar. And
Andrew
Jacob.
Wazar. So Andrew Wazar is off of first here. Josh, any other base runners for the Satellites?
Carr at third here, runner on first and second here, and a chomp foul ball by Jacob Ullman to get the count to 1 strike and 0 balls here.
So 0-1 up coming here to Jacob Ullman, who grounded out his last time up.
There's the 1%er. Okay, we're good. 2 strikes after the fly ball.
Good job, Chuck. Good job. Chuck don't want none of that.
Henniker looks to first here to Domes for a possible pickoff attempt once again. And drops the hat there for a strikeout.
So the inning is over as we're going to be headed to the bottom of the fifth. Last opportunity here, potentially for the Tigers. They do need to add 3 runs in this inning to continue this ball game. But it sounds like either Bryson Glycic or possibly Bradley Farrell is going to close this game, or who knows what Zach Coulter is going to go to. But they do have the luxury of having a deep bullpen. What would your strategy be here, Todd? Would you stick with Bryson or maybe go with Bradley or possibly another closer here from the Satellites?
Honestly, I'd probably just stick with Bryson. It'd probably be the easiest, because, I mean, if you're going to throw your next game, I mean, they play Oregon Davis. They're probably saving Bradley and Braden Grass for that game. So, I mean, you don't have to really exhaust anyone else here.
Yeah, so probably saving their best closer and best ace for that championship game potentially on Saturday. But as of right now, it's looking really, really good for the Satellites as they're 3 outs away here from advancing to the championship game, as long as they don't give up 3 runs here. But due up for the Tigers will be Noah Kneifel, Blaine Rust, and Caden Heminger. So let's see if they can maybe spark a rally and potentially keep this semifinal playoff ball game here going. But sounds like Josh will let us know here shortly who's going to come out here and pitch this bottom of the 5th here. Todd's guessing Bryson Glycic. I'm either going to guess Bryson Glycic. I don't think they'll use Bradley Farrell. I think Todd's right. They want to save him for tomorrow. So maybe they bring in a Tommy Sullivan or potentially a Zach Honchar. I'm not sure if maybe they want to save those 2 for tomorrow too, but we will see here shortly.
Yeah, Glycic is still in the ball game here. Here in the bottom of the 5th here.
So Glycic's going to try and put the Satellites in the championship game. Needs 3 more outs. Let's see what he can do against Noah Kneifel. That ball sounds like it went back to the backstop.
It sure did there, Aiden. Count 1-1 here. Count 2-1 here. 2 strikes. After
1 and
fishing in the
2.
bucket there.
1 and 2 upcoming here to Noah Kneifel.
Just a bit outside, but the umpire almost called it because Kneifel stepped out before the pitch was even thrown or even arrived. Pop up here to the center fielder, Mr. Insurance, and Brandon Young.
So Brandon Young's able to get the first out of the inning as Noah Kneifel flies out to center there as the Tigers are down to their final 2 outs potentially of the season with Blaine Rust, who has walked in both of his plate appearances today. He's going to go up against Big Country Bryson Glycic here.
1 ball so far, just a little bit outside here for Big Country. Just a bit outside again. 2 balls, 0 strikes here, Aiden and Todd. But Russ looks like he's jumping outside the box almost every pitch. Almost the reverse. And that ball is popped out. We're down to our last out, the senior Hammaker coming up.
So the Tigers are down to their final out. The pitcher, Heminger, is due up here. He struck out his first plate appearance, walked his most recent, but he's going to be due up here potentially.
And that ball is drive, and that's going to be a double for Hammaker. Now, the last chance out goes to Colton Burkholder.
So Carter Burkholder, now he's playing center field, started this game at pitcher. He will be due up here, which could potentially be the final out of the season for the Lacrosse Tigers. They do have a man in scoring position.
And just a little bit outside on the fastball here from Glycic. Count 1 ball, 0 strikes. 2 outs here with Hammaker on second. Big O with from Burkholder. Count 1-1 here.
1-1 upcoming here to Caden Heminger.
Burkholder with a foul ball here. If you have, that's a core bound foul ball. If you have any brick in windshield, go to maybe
Carter Burkholder is down to the final strike.
Burkholder staying alive on that foul ball. Count 2-2 with that foul ball. Glycic looking to end this right now. And he does. Strike 3. Satellites win. Fly the W.
The Satellites win this ball game 15-3. They will be in the championship game against Oregon Davis on Monday, Memorial Day. That game starts at 12 o'clock. But the Satellites have done it. I think Todd and I, as we speak for ourselves, we're going to give the game ball here to Jacob Oman. Defensively, really set the tone early on for the Satellites with his 9 strikeouts through 3 innings. Did not give up a hit. Really strong outing from Jacob Oman. And offensively, I'm not sure about you, Todd, but still got to give that game ball to Bryson Glycic. Although Tommy Sullivan did have 4 RBIs, so it's hard not to mention his name. But Bryson Glycic with the big home run. He's going to get
I
my
agree
game
with you
ball.
on the home run.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Glycic as well. But you could also give it to Jacob Ullman very easily, having an absolute day. So I would give it to mine split here, folks. Ullman and with Glycic with my 2 game balls here. And we'll be back on the broadcast Monday on Memorial Day here. Todd, are you joining us with that one too?
Yes, I am.
We'll have Todd Snyder. How about you, Aiden?
Yep, I will be there on Monday as well.
And we'll have Aiden Thatcher there for you on the radio broadcast, the hybrid, okay, here on Regan's Corner Sports Network.